how do you change the sound of an entire nation and then share it with the whole world? Today, we're going to dive into the mind of a true musical genius, Rahman. We're going to uncover the personal philosophy that shaped his revolutionary music. It's a story all about art, trauma, and just incredible resilience.
This quote? This is everything. It's the key to understanding Rahman. See, he watched the film industry just consume his own father, a brilliant composer who was pretty much forgotten the moment he passed away. So that experience, that loss, it gave him this lifelong mission. How do you make world-changing art and not let the machine, eat you alive?
All right, so here's our roadmap. We're starting with the trauma that shaped him, then jumping into how he built a global sound. After that, we'll see how he fought back against the industry, and then this amazing blend of spirituality and tech. And we'll wrap it all up with what might be his most important trait. He's always a student.
To really get the artist, you've got to understand the kid he was. Rahman's whole perspective on life, his incredible drive, but also why he's so careful with fame, it all goes back to a tragedy that happened very early on.
I mean, just look at how fast his world got turned upside down. He's 9 years old when his father dies, and boom, the family is thrown into poverty. He literally called it seeing trauma every day. By 15, think about that, 15! While other kids are worried about homework, he's the main provider for his family, working with guys who are 3 times older than him. He didn't just miss his childhood, it was basically stolen from him.
But in the middle of all that chaos, his mom was his rock. Everyone, and I mean everyone, was telling her to sell his dad's musical gear. But what does she do? She turns it into a business, renting it out to make ends meet. It was her incredible belief in him, just her saying, no, my son will play, that didn't just save their family. It literally set him on his path.
Now, you think an experience like that would make someone bitter, right? But for him, it made him a revolutionary. Rahman wasn't just trying to get a job in the music industry. He wanted to tear it down and build something new. He heard this huge gap between the Indian music of the time and the global stuff he loved, like Queen, and he just decided, you know what, I'm going to be the one to bridge that gap, and he started it all from his own home studio.
So before Rahman came along with his debut film, Roja, Indian film music, well, it was kind of stuck in a formula. It was beautiful stuff, don't get me wrong, but it was very local. Then Rahman comes in and just throws the whole playbook out the window. He starts mixing in jazz, rock, Western classical, Sufi music, all with traditional Indian sounds. The result was something no one had ever heard before, and it was designed to be international.
And this wasn't an accident. It was a full-on, calculated revolution. Step 1, he identified the core problem. As he put it, they don't listen to us. Step 2, he fixed the issues, one by one. Better production, a better vibe, even the language. But step 3, this was the real game changer. He built himself a sanctuary, his home studio. It was a place where he could try things, fail, experiment, and just create without anyone looking over his shoulder.
Okay, so Rahman becomes this huge overnight success. What's his next move? He does the complete opposite of what any sane person would do. He basically creates this personal philosophy of work, and its whole purpose is to protect his creativity and his soul from the very industry that just made him a star. Just look at this chart. It's crazy. You've got other composers just cranking out, 30 movies a year? They were on a creative hamster wheel. But Rahman, he chose a totally different path. He intentionally did less work because he knew you can't mass-produce real creativity. For him, having that space to breathe wasn't a luxury, it was a necessity. It was time to heal, to listen, and to really let a song become what it needed to be.
So get this, at the absolute peak of his fame, he does something nobody expected. He just vanishes. He moves to London, not to take a break, but to go back to school. He started studying everything, musical theater, art, you name it. He knew a really harsh truth about the industry. If you're not constantly learning and refilling your creative well, it's gonna run dry. And when it does, they'll just throw you away.
And this is where things get really fascinating, I think. You've got this deep, spiritual side to Rahman, and then you've got this super forward-thinking guy who's all about technology. He looks at something like AI, and instead of seeing a threat, he sees an opportunity, but only if we guide it with the right values.
So, can AI create art that has a soul? It's probably the biggest question of our time, right? And for Rahman, the answer is a hard no. He's really clear about this. He says AI can do the technical stuff, the chops, but the vision, the heart, that has to come from a person. So for him, AI isn't something to be scared of.
It's a challenge. It's a tool that's going to force us, as human artists, to dig even deeper and get even more creative to stay one step ahead.
So he actually has these 3 rules for AI. It's his ethical framework. And it's not about trying to stop progress, it's about making sure it's humane. Rule number 1, protect jobs. Don't build tools that are going to make skilled people jobless overnight. Rule 2, empower people. Give these tools to folks who don't have access to them so they can create too. And rule 3, and this is a big one, remove curses. Use this tech to fight the big stuff: poverty, misinformation, generational problems. It's this beautiful vision of technology in service of humanity.
So after all this, what's the big takeaway from A.R. Rahman's story? I think it's this. Real success, real mastery, it's not some finish line you cross. It's a never-ending, humble process of just learning and growing.
35+ years. Just let that sink in. For over 35 years, he's been at the very top of his game. We're talking Oscars, Grammys. The guy literally changed music forever. And yet he still thinks of himself as a student. He's learning from AI, he's learning from young kids on social media, he's even taking singing lessons to get better. It's just incredible. For him, the learning absolutely never, ever stops. And I just want to leave you with this amazing metaphor he uses for creativity. He says, first you get mud, then water, then petrol, and then, finally, you get gold. But you have to keep digging. It's not glamorous, right? It's messy, but if you just keep at it, you'll eventually find that gold. His entire life proves that. So I guess the question he leaves for all of us is, what's the gold that you're willing to keep digging for?